Hi guys, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, and if you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I don't know why I'm still stuck at 1,600, but please guys, I'm trying to get somewhere. Anyways, let's get into today's stories. Am I wrong for ditching my girlfriend at a restaurant, which contributed to her failing her probationary period at work? I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, Cindy, 26 female, since university. Last September, Cindy's company went under. She took this hard because she loved her workplace, loved her colleagues, and loved her boss. Unfortunately, they just weren't making that much money, so the plug was pulled. When Cindy came home and delivered the news to me, I asked if she wanted me to introduce her to my boss. Having the same major, we work in the same field, and my company is almost always hiring. Cindy said yes, and I texted my boss on the spot. After delivering her CV to him and a short interview process, she was hired in a 3-month probationary position. I was really excited to be working with Cindy. We could save money on gas by carpooling and spend more time together and have lunch together too. Unfortunately, things did not pan out. To be frank, Cindy was a horrible employee. She showed up to the office 15 to 20 minutes late virtually every day. I had to give up on carpooling with her because I had morning meetings and I need to get to work 15 minutes early every day. Cindy's favorite activity at work was opening a blank Google Doc and looking at her phone under the desk. The hour we get for lunch was often an hour and a half for Cindy. She really accomplished nothing in her time there. This continued for 3 months. Last Monday was a rare occasion where Cindy was actually ready on time to go to work. Perhaps it was because of my gentle urging for her to get her stuff together, or perhaps it was because of her probationary period was ending soon, but we were able to carpool. We went out to lunch together and Cindy ate way too slowly. I was looking at the clock and encouraging her to get a move on. But at the end of the meal, right when we had to leave to make it back on time, Cindy decided she wanted another refill of her soda. I told her time was up, but she was adamant that she absolutely needed another refill. To make matters worse, the restaurant was crowded and we couldn't flag down a server. I put the cash for the meal and a tip on the table, and I told Cindy that I was leaving with or without her. Cindy played chicken with me here, thinking that if she refused to move, I'd have no choice but to wait. But I walked to my car and drove back. Cindy showed up 20 minutes later, visually flustered. The restaurant was a 10-minute walk away, so I'm pretty sure she did end up getting her refill. She has been furious with me since. Last Friday, Cindy got her final judgment for her probationary period. Due to poor punctuality and general lack of direction, my company decided not to hire her for a full-time position. Cindy blames me. She says I made her late and that I ruined everything. Last night she asked how she was supposed to pay her part of rent without a job, and I responded, yes, that's a good question. How will you be paying? This threw oil in the proverbial fire, and now she doesn't even want to fight about it anymore. Was I an a-hole for what I did here? I mean, honestly, Cindy was taking an hour and 30-minute lunch breaks when she only had 1 hour. She was coming to work late every single day for absolutely no reason. She would put her Google Doc up and then be on her phone. I don't think one day that you left her where she was late for 10 minutes was the reason why she didn't get the job. Like, in this economy, if you're playing around with your job and the thing that is literally earning your livelihood, you're not getting nothing. Everything is so terrible these days. Everything's so expensive. Prices are so expensive. Everything's so expensive. And then you have a job, a good job, and you want to play around with it because you want to be lazy and act like you're a teenager who literally lives with mommy and daddy. That's your business. OP did nothing wrong here. Top comment: if she seriously believes she wasn't hired because of that particular day and not all of the other ones, she's delusional as if. You even tried helping her to be punctual, but she didn't give, a damn. Not the ejo, not a responsibility at all. Am I wrong for banning my husband from all doctor appointments after he repeatedly messes with me while I'm pregnant? Hi, so I'm currently pregnant about 6 months along, and my husband has been doing this thing every time we go to a doctor's appointment. He'll drive me to the appointment, then when I'm about to get in the car, he drives forward a little, then reverses, and drives forward again. He does this a few times, and it's always frustrating me. He thinks it's hilarious and he's just messing with me. I started to get really frustrated. I'm already dealing with physical and emotional trauma of pregnancy, and now this just feels like him poking fun at me when I'm already tired and stressed. I told him it bothers me, but he just brushed it off and said I'm overreacting and that he's just having fun. We had a big fight about it the other day. I tried to explain how it's making me feel and he got defensive, saying I need to lighten up and it's just a joke. I told him it wasn't funny anymore and it wasn't something I wanted to deal with during my pregnancy. The final straw was when he did it again before a doctor appointment yesterday, and I was just done. I ended up calling my mom to take me instead and told my husband he was banned from all future appointments. Well, now he's furious. He's demanding to be there for the next appointment because it's the one where we'll find out the baby's gender. He says it's a huge moment and I'm being unfair by not letting him come. I told him I need him to respect my boundaries, and this is one of the ways I'm doing that. But he keeps insisting that it's just a silly little thing, and he's calling me unreasonable for making a big deal out of it. Am I overreacting here? I mean, it's kind of a little funny and silly, but at the end of the day, if she's not okay with it, why does he keep doing it? You know, I feel like sometimes the things that we find funny, or a little jokey joke, or just something to do to mess with someone that's just harmless, someone else may not like that. And if someone is literally verbally saying, hey, I do not like this, please stop, then you should stop. She's pregnant, she's hormonal, she's she's going through a lot, and if she doesn't want her husband messing with her, then she has every right. She's literally making an entire baby. I don't know though, I don't think she's unreasonable. She's just setting a boundary. As adults, if someone sets boundaries, we should respect it, no matter how funny or harmless we personally find it, Okay, let's read what top comment says. Top comment, not the a-hole. An honest question: has he always been this much of an immature, disrespectful jerk? Because it's only going to get worse once your baby arrives. Good luck. Clearly, OP's husband likes just the attention, Yeah. Am I wrong for kicking my mother-in-law out of my house after she refused to call our son by his name? My husband, 34 male, and I, 31 female, recently had our first child, a son we named Elijah. We put a lot of thought into this name. We loved the meaning, and it just felt right. What does Elijah mean? Is that like a biblical name? My mother-in-law, 62 female, had no strong opinions about it at first. She didn't gush over it, but she also didn't object it, or so we thought. The first time she met Elijah at the hospital, she looked at him and said, "Oh, little David, you're so perfect." I thought I misheard her, so I ignored it. But then she said it again. I asked her, "Who's David?" And she just smiled and said, "Oh, it just suits him better." I was too exhausted from labor to argue, but over the next few weeks, she kept calling him David, texting us things like, "How is my little David doing?" or "Give David a kiss for me." I told her firmly that his name's Elijah. She laughed and said, "Oh, I know, but I think he just feels like a David." Neither my husband nor I know anyone named David. It's just not a family name. There is no sentimental reason behind it. It's just completely random name she decided to call my child, despite us telling her not to. At first, we tried to let it go, hoping she'd stop if we ignored it. But it only got worse. When we FaceTimed her, she grew at him saying, "Grandma loves you, David." She even started knitting a baby blanket with the name David embroidered on it. The final straw was when she came over for a family dinner and kept referring to him as David in front of everyone. My sister-in-law asked, "Wait, why do you keep calling him David?" And mother-in-law just laughed and said, "Because that's his name to me." That's when I lost it. I said, "No, his name is Elijah, and if you can't respect that, you don't need to be here." She rolled her eyes and tried to wave me off, but I wasn't having it. I told her to leave. She looked shocked, but she left without much of a fight. Now my husband is upset with me. He agrees that his mom is being weird and disrespectful, but he thinks kicking her out was too extreme and that I should have just let it go. My mother-in-law is now playing the victim, telling everyone that I'm keeping her grandson from her over a harmless nickname. Some family members think I overreacted. Others agree that her behavior was bizarre. I don't know. Was I really in the wrong for putting my foot down? Am I the a-hole? You guys, fun fact, my mom had 9 kids, and I'm the eldest. And all of us, she never named not a single one of us. Random, family members would name us. I remember we used to live in my old state, and my mom had, my 5 younger siblings. I think, 3 of them, they just named the kids, after random, not random, but, family, friends. Me, personally, my name is Hodan. My uncle named me, the morning I was born, he was like, "Oh, what did, my mom's name, what did she have?" And they said, "Oh, she had a daughter," and I was my mom's eldest. And he's like, "Oh, tell her to call the new baby Hodan." And they just call, my mom never give a damn, but some people really care. One of my aunts, my mom's younger sister, she cares. She does not play. I think the only person that she let anyone else name her, her youngest baby right now, she let my sister name her, but that's it. But the rest of her 8 children, she names them. She doesn't even take recommendations. So some people take that serious, the whole naming the baby thing. And I feel like OP's mother-in-law, if she wanted to name the baby David, why didn't she say something while the woman, if OP was pregnant? Why are you just coming up with a random name after the baby has already been named? That's weird. Who the hell is David? I'm so confused. Top comment, not the a-hole. This is hella weird behavior and your feelings are valid. I also find it odd that your husband thinks you overreacted, but you literally just told her to use the correct name or to leave. It sounds like she made her choice and now she's upset with you. Then OP responded saying it really is, and I'm still wondering who the F is David or why she chose that name. As for my husband, he's always had a hard time going against his mom in anything. Well, he's gonna have to stop now because he has a family.